Hello and welcome to your tarot reading for Monday the 15th of January 2024. My name is Dee and I'm very happy that you've joined me for this reading. So the 3-card spread that you can see in front of us right now is drawn from the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck. So that accounts for the dark visual theme that you can see here, the spookiness of it. And the cards that we've got the Page of Candles or the Page of Wands, and that's interesting because we actually drew the Page of Candles in yesterday's reading but in a different position in the spread, and then in the middle of the spread we have Death. And if you're unfamiliar with tarot, please don't be freaked out by the presence of the Death card in the spread, because death in tarot refers simply to change. And that could be any kind of change, including extremely positive change. So that's not one to be taken literally and to worry about when it crops up in a reading. And then the 3rd card that we've got here is the Star, and it's the Star reversed. So the first thing that this spread is telling me is that there is this central theme of change. And I'm getting the sense that this is a change that you showed up for at the very start with a spirit of open-hearted willingness and possibly even enthusiasm. So it's highly likely that this is a change that you've instigated yourself. It's something that you began the process of for yourself, and for that reason at the beginning you had this highly engaged, highly inspired, highly enthusiastic, very open-hearted spirit, possibly of adventure with it, but it was a feeling of willingness to begin this process of change, whatever it is. It was something that you were open to engaging with, or if it's not a change that you instigated yourself, it's not something that you began yourself. If it's something that was sprung on you from an external source, then initially you were feeling that sense of buoyancy and readiness and willingness to engage with that process of change. That's what the Page of Candles, the message that's coming across. Now that you are facing that change, or you have embarked on that process, so that change is underway, we're having a moment of a wobble. Like we're having a wobble around it. That feeling that we had in this at the beginning is being, there's a shaking of our sense of trust or hope or faith. So just to kind of explain, so the Star upright, in this deck, it's represented by Jack Skellington's ghost dog, Zero. So in the film, The Nightmare Before Christmas, there's a point at which Zero takes the place of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer to guide the sleigh. And so his nose here is that beacon. And so it's that's being used to represent the Star, because the Star in tarot represents a beacon of hope, faith and trust, and optimism and positivity. Now, when it's reversed, it can mean that that sense of hope and faith is being shaken in some way. And I feel like here, the page has embarked on this journey of change, either initiated by self or by others, or by some circumstance beyond their control. And they showed up with this, this spirit initially, and now something, it's begun to feel a little overwhelming, and it's bringing up a resistance, just a new sense of resistance. Now, if we look at the death card and the depiction of death in this particular deck, what we've got here is we've got a cemetery in the foreground, and then we have this gateway, and this gate, this closed gate, and beyond the gate we have a landscape which is lit by the moon. So a gateway in tarot represents the threshold of transformation. So when we move through a gateway or a doorway in tarot, it's that process of transformation, you know, a movement from one state to another, and this represents that threshold. Now on this card, this gate is closed, and to me that's, in the context of this spread, it's saying that some resistance has come up to the change, whereas originally we felt open to it. Right now we've lost a little bit of our faith and our hope and our trust, and it's feeling unsafe. It's feeling unsafe to us to move through this process of change. We're having some resistance and some hesitancy over it. Now, if you look beyond the gate with this card, you can see that we have this rolling landscape, and it's a hill on either side that are sheltering this valley in the middle. So it looks like a landscape of sheltered safety, of shielded safety. And so, you know, what's feeling unsafe on this side of the gate, on this side of this process of change, beyond that, there's a position of relative safety waiting for you. And it's lit by the moon. And the moon in tarot represents hidden things. So it can represent things that exist in our subconscious, things that are hidden via illusion. And in this case, I think, you know, it's lighting the landscape, suggesting that we can't see exactly what lies beyond that horizon. It's on the other side of this change, and that's what's causing this feeling of feeling unsafe and having this kind of dent, this loss of trust and hope and faith in this process. You know, it's feeling overwhelming, unsafe, and we've kind of, it's knocking the wind out of our sails in terms of this spirit with which we showed up originally for this change. Now, what's lovely about this is if you look at this horizon, there's light beyond the horizon. But we can't see, you know, as the moon is indicating, it's hidden from us. All we know is that there is light beyond the horizon. And so we have to have faith. We have to retain that hope and faith that on the other side of this process of change, there are good things waiting for us. And there are. So this spread is a reminder that this energy with which you initially showed up for this change, whether that was a change that you wanted or perhaps you didn't want it, but you felt it was necessary and you put it in place for yourself, and you approached it with this open-hearted readiness or willingness to take it on and move through it. It's a message of reassurance, really, that's saying, you know, yes, you've lost a little bit of your faith in this. You're feeling overwhelmed, or you're feeling maybe tired. You could be feeling tired, or you could just be feeling like you know, that uncertainty of not being able to see beyond the horizon is starting to get to you, you know, because uncertainty can be quite wearing. It can be anxiety inducing. But the message of the cards is there are good things waiting on the other side of this change. So keep the faith. Keep the faith. And, you know, if you can retain some of this spirit, that will serve you in the sense that, you know, we need to look after ourselves when we are moving through any kind of change, because, you know, change is the only constant in life. We're always moving through change. But it can take its toll on us, even if it's very positive, you know, especially if it's unexpected, or if it's on a very large scale. Even if it's something that we wanted, it can really kind of take its toll on us. So it's just a reminder to keep the faith, you know, keep up any self-care practices that you find helpful, and just keep rolling, keep moving through, and try and move through this resistance. I hope that that's helpful. And thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you'll join me for another reading soon.